Bonjour à tous et bienvenue pour cette rencontre Inside the Doc du 21e FIFO. Aujourd'hui, nous allons parler du film Kaugere, A Place Where Nobody Enters, réalisé par Stephen Dupont et présenté en compétition du festival du 2 au 11 février 2024. Cet entretien sera mené en anglais. So, Yorana, Stephen, and welcome on this interview with me for the Inside the Doc of the 21st FIFO. You are the director of the film Kaugere, A Place Where Nobody Enters. And congratulations on this great film first. And
thank you very much.
And thank you for being with us. It's a pleasure to welcome you on this occasion. And before we start, I was just saying that your film will be presented in the competition category of our festival, and that just after it won the Best Documentary Award at Byron Bay Film Festival. So what did you expect when you submit the film for FIFO?
Well, firstly, for me, FIFO meant it was the most important festival, honestly, because it's the festival for Océanien, and because the film is set in Papua New Guinea, I felt it was deeply important that the film was shown at your festival. So, for me, I was incredibly humbled, surprised, and excited, of course, that you selected our film, and especially in competition. Papua New Guinea is a place that doesn't get so much attention in the world, and I think it's a great opportunity, especially through FIFO, to show this film to another kind of audience that can explore and see the world that is Papua New Guinea. It's a place that's dear to my heart. I've spent many years as a photographer and as a filmmaker covering stories and various films in the country. And this film particularly was important because it involved a family that I became close to in a community that I was also close to, which is Kaugere. And I felt that it was important to tell their story, to not only tell the hardships that they are all going through in a place like Kaugere, which is extremely poverty-stricken and crime-ridden, but to show that a sport that is rugby league can be a catalyst for change and hope and allow young people in this place to have their dreams. Okay,
yeah, that's great. The film depicts the story of Albert Muri. He had 3 sons. The eldest was shot by the police. The second is in prison.
Yes.
And the youngest remains Albert's only hope, if we can say that, as he assists him as coach of the local rugby team. However, and despite all the mayhem, the film carries a very poetic and hopeful message. How did you, can you tell the story behind the story and how the idea of the film germinated, and how did it evolve along the process?
Yeah, of course. Well, as I mentioned, I've been going to Papua New Guinea for a long time, and I had already met the Muri family while I was doing another project. I was working on a fellowship from Harvard University. It's called the Robert Gardner Fellowship. And when I met the Muri family, I started to see what they were doing inside the community and the positive effect that they were having. And I suppose it's a kind of redemption from my side. A lot of the stories that I covered in New Guinea were not very positive and they had a lot of negative connotations. I spent a lot of time covering police and crime and raskols, and which are, it's pidgin for criminal.
Yes.
So my stories, I felt personally that I was, I suppose, not helping with my with the positive messages of Papua New Guinea, and so it felt important and personal to me when I found this story. I felt, wow, here's something that is positive. You know, here's something that we can see the reality of what's going on in this community, like many in Papua New Guinea. But here we have something that really is driving a positive change. And so as a human being, foremost, I felt very personal about this, and I wanted to show that story in a positive way. And as a filmmaker, it allowed me to immerse myself in this community because I had the full trust and the friendship of the community, because I'd built up that, you know, that trust over many, many years before I even started making the film. The film is an observational film. It's not something that I ever intended to, you know, change or direct. It really is a film that I sat with for many years, and I just observed, and I, you know, was just fortunate that the Muri family allowed me into their world and trusted me, and I got the full support from them and the community, because the film really is about, you know, how rugby league can be such a positive catalyst for change in this place. And in Papua New Guinea, it's you know, it's the national sport, and I mean, you know, when you mention rugby league, it's like there's nothing, you know, more exciting for Papua New Guineans than the game of rugby league. So it was a very enjoyable experience. It was not always easy, but yeah, it was a really powerful experience to kind of make this film.
Yes, I understand. And yes, the message is powerful. You said that you needed to tell a positive story, but the film still well, no, Albert still goes through dreadful experiences during the film. Well, we're not unveiling too much of the film, but
yeah,
the film is not always that happy, but it is always done with a poetic point of view. And you also said that, well, no, how long was the film in the making? A decade, if I'm right, something like that?
Yeah. Well, if you include COVID,
yes,
because we got shut down for a few years, a couple of years. But yeah, look, I started filming in around 2014.
Okay.
And then I was working on it in the field for nearly 5 years.
Wow.
And then went into production, and then COVID stopped the production for some time, and then we finished the film. Really during COVID, we finished the film. So I suppose, yeah, you could say it's a 10-year journey. But I would say it's a lot longer, because I first went to Papua New Guinea in 2004, and that was the first time that I went into Kaugere. It was my first experience ever in the country. I was doing a project about the raskols, and it was then that I became close to the community. So my story really begins way back, and this is just another kind of journey for me to tell more about what's going on in this community that I'd become close to. I never would have been able to make the film without the collaboration of the local people, which I'm incredibly indebted to and thankful for. I think Albert, as a leader of the community and as the coach of the local footy team, I think he saw something in me as a filmmaker. I think he saw something in what I was trying to say in my film, that how really, you know, Papua New Guinea is struggling. It does have a lot of crime. It has a lot of problems. Albert does go through a lot of hardship, but that is the reality of life in Papua New Guinea. But there is that hope, and I keep going back to that word because I wanted the message to be for the younger generation. So I want the young kids that are growing up in this community to understand that there really is a dream if you want it. There is people like Albert who can put you on the straight and narrow and try and keep you away from crime and doing the wrong thing, try and keep you in school. And Dia as well, you know, who's such a great spokesperson, you know, as a national, not only rugby league player, but he's a national basketball player who's traveled all over the Pacific for Papua New Guinea. He's a great mentor for young kids. And I saw that in this story, and I felt that this was worthy of telling this story. But the bottom line is it's about the truth. You know, whatever happens in this film happens. It's purely an observational film that I've captured, whether it's, you know, the problems and the crime and the, you know, the hardships. But I was constantly aware that at the end of this story, there has to be a tunnel of light. There needs to be something. And as a filmmaker, I don't know what the ending is going to be. I just have to hope myself that this film finds its way to a positive path. And I think it did in the end.
Yeah. And all along the film, we have the opportunity to dive into Albert's daily life. And watching the film, the suffocation, or at least the sensation of suffocation, really quickly kicks in. Was it a choice, or if yes, how did you manage with that?
If I understand the question right, sorry, do you mean like the kind of access that I had and the kind of way I was filming the intimacy of daily life?
Yes.
Yeah, again, it comes to my own kind of motivation and philosophy in filmmaking, where I come from a photography side of, you know, that world. And my mentors were photographers. Some of those photographers made films like William Klein, who I'm sure you're aware of, and Robert Frank. And then there are filmmakers like Frederick Wiseman and the Maisel brothers. These were filmmakers that inspired me, and they were all observational filmmakers. They were, you know, they needed to spend the time to actually wait. And that's my world, is that I wait until something happens. So, you know, I'm letting the camera roll and I'm waiting for moments. I'm sitting in the yard, I'm sitting in the house of the Muri family, and I'm sort of filming lots of things and hoping that something, a conversation or something will happen. So really is about letting the camera roll. So I had to shoot a lot of footage to really get the film down to what it is. It takes a lot of time and patience, but I think it honors the truth and honors the reality and the kind of spirit that I was trying to capture without having any interference. For me, it's about not interfering with what's happening in my frame.
Yeah, okay. That's a really documentary way of doing, because now actually I understand, as you said, that you were a photographer first, because the film has some sequences with where the main character is light, and it is just beautiful to see.
Thank you very much.
I was also wondering if you had already screened the film in Papua New Guinea with Kaugere community.
Not yet, but I have shown the film to the Muri family. I needed to get their blessing, you know, to make sure that they were happy with the film. But there's slight complications with showing the film in the community, and it's quite open to talk about it. But when I asked the Muri family, would you like this film to be shown in Kaugere, their first reaction was no, because there would be a lot of jealousy and tension, and they believe that there might be a lot of problems in terms of violence as a result of showing the film, not because of what the film says or anything like that, but purely about kind of certain individual people that might sort of be jealous and have wrong thoughts. So at the moment, it's quite sensitive in that I need to kind of be patient. I do want to show the film in Kaugere, or at least in Port Moresby. I think it's very important to do that, but I need to make sure that it's presented in the right forum, and so forth. So it's certainly under discussion, and it is my intention to show it there one day.
Okay. So far, the main audience you had was Australian audience, and
yes.
And now you have the FIFA audience as well.
Yes, yes. And it was shown also in Prague.
Okay, yeah.
We had a screening at the One World Human Rights Festival in Prague, so we had a European kind of audience there. But so FIFA was the third festival for the film to be shown. Yeah. Okay,
great. What kind of feedback did you get from the audience until then?
Very positive feedback. I mean, a lot of people wanted to help. That was a good thing. And in fact, we're still working on finding a way to generate donations that will go into support the Kaugere community, and particularly the Bulldogs football team and the youth. So we are still working on ways to make that happen. We had a GoToFundMe kind of campaign that was with the screening of the film, and we're trying to develop that into something else as well. For me, it's really, I never made this film for a commercial kind of success, if that makes sense. I was never making the film for me to make money. I really wanted the film to highlight the problems and generate some sort of support for the community in Kaugere, and to really get an understanding of what's going on, and try and make some sort of some money that can go back into the community, even if it's in the way of materials or football jerseys or school books or so forth. Certainly that message I'm trying to get across, and that's a work in progress. I think the audience reaction was, I think they were genuinely moved by the film. I think I think it's a film that makes you laugh and cry, and again, I think just leaves you feeling that you feel for these people and you want to help these people, and I think that's important. I think there's no question that the community needs help, and if my film can generate that kind of reaction from people to make people want to donate money and help them, I think that's a really great thing.
Okay, and beside the GoFundMe campaign, have you been organizing any impact campaign or something like that behind the film?
Well, we're still kind of working through that, and what we have been doing is at the moment we're trying to get the film seen here in Australia by the National Rugby League, who are the professional rugby league competition. In this competition, there are many Papua New Guinea players.
Yes.
So I'm not sure how much you're aware of it, but Papua New Guinea very soon, I think, will have its own team in the National Rugby League competition. So we think that the timing of the film is very good because, you know, it's very soon that this will happen, that there will be a team. And the team that I followed in Kaugere are called the Bulldogs, which have the same jerseys as a team in Australia. I'm trying for my film to be seen by this team as well. So I'm hoping that they can send professional players to do like a workshop and a kind of camp to the young players in Kaugere. So I'm hoping that I can get some of those Canterbury Bulldogs players over to New Guinea, which will help that kind of cross, connections with their heroes, because some of these players that would come over are like the heroes. I mean, they are treated like gods, as, you know, you'll hear in the film. And so, you know, these rugby league players are very, very important to the young kids. And so if I can bring that kind of attention, I think that's a really great way to highlight the importance of the sport in the country and how, how it can make these changes.
Okay, well, that's cool. We're almost done with this interview, but would you have, would you like to add something, anything to encourage our viewers to watch the film?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to make any spoilers, but for me, I think this is a film that I hope would have some sort of interest in most people. I think it's a film that I think opens up a new kind of world to audiences that I think they may not know about, and I think that it's I think the messages and the story itself is a powerful metaphor for, I guess, the bigger picture in the world we live in. I mean, what's happening in Papua New Guinea is happening all over the world. So it doesn't matter if you're in Peru or if you're in Russia or if you're in the Middle East or in India. This story is a story about humanity, and it's a story about hope and dreams. And I think that any audience who understands their place in the world and understands the need to observe different cultures and what they're going through, the struggles, I think they see something in themselves when they watch this film. It's hard not to, and I think that's a very beautiful thing. I would also like to just end by saying that this film was a collaboration. It's not a film really. It's a film. I'm the director, but it's a film by many people, mm-hmm. and first and foremost, it's a film by Papua New Guineans. And without the collaboration of the Muri family and the community of Kaugere, this film would never have been made. I would never have been able to get that kind of access, because no one really gets that access unless you've spent many, many years, being close to the community, and they put their trust in me, and that is everything. And then, my partner and editor and producer, Elizabeth Tadic, mm-hmm. she worked tirelessly on this film with me. I mean, this is a film by both of us, and we really kind of made this film in our garage. Yes. It was a love project, and we spent so many years doing the film that we were, obviously very happy when it was finished, and very happy and excited when FIFO accepted the film. That was very dear to our heart. So thank you. I'm looking forward very much to coming over. So yeah. It's been a long time. I was in Tahiti many years ago, I was doing an assignment as a photographer for French Geo magazine, so Guia France, and I love Tahiti. It's a beautiful place, and it's been 20 years since I've been. So for me, it's exciting to come back again, and I keep hearing amazing things about your festival. So it's very exciting.
Well, thank you very much, and again, congratulations on the team, and good luck for the competition. Hopefully,
thank you, Mareva.
We'll meet at the festival.
Yes,
and
yes, I hope so. Yeah, that would be wonderful. I look forward to that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's great. Thanks again, Stephen, and all the best for the end of the year.
Yes, thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. We say goodbye.
Yes.
Okay. Bye bye. Thank you very much.